to existing societies is the history of class struggles. That is the first line of a German-language pamphlet coming out of London that the mainstream media does not want you to know about. This communist manifesto is a shot across the bow of the fat cat bourgeoisie who rule on the backs of your labor. Comrades, now is the time to seize the means of production!
I just have one thing to say. Hang on here.
In the immediate aftermath of 9/11, we did some things that were wrong. We did a whole lot of things that were right.
We're keeping the oil. We have the oil. The oil is secure.
Thank you for making it happen.
Tic-tac-toe. A winner.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I will put him put those in the
Goat's milk latte drinking, avocado toast
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats.
To do everything they can to stop these terrorist killers. Thank you. Now watch this drive.
It's so dead. It's the deadest. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, one and all, to another episode of Prolepilled. It is Sunday night, the 30th of November. Welcome. It's a busy night tonight. We got a lot of content rolling in. A lot of independent media people going live tonight covering your standard click slop. We're not covering the click slop because we're covering the shit that you guys need to be aware of because we're tomorrow's news day. Now, Big Mad Crab will be joining us momentarily. He did send me a message and all he said was it's stuck in the toaster. So I'm not really sure what that means. But I hope he gets it sorted out. He just said a lot about being in pain and it's stuck in the toaster. I don't know what it is or why it's stuck in the toaster, but that's all he said to me. So something is stuck in the toaster. Yeah, we'll give him a beat. We'll give him a beat to get his situation, his toaster situation sorted out. I am, as always, your host, No Himbo. And tonight we got a pretty jam-packed show. I was surprised to see a lot of other channels not covering some of the content we got because I thought we'd kind of be like duo covering stuff, but it apparently works out. So first and foremost, I hope everybody had a great weekend. I hope y'all had a restful weekend. To those who work on the weekends, I hope your shifts were not dog shit. And yeah. So tonight we got three things to cover. The first, there was the corporate media. I'm actually surprised pointed this out, but I think it's predominantly to manufacture consent. But they're talking about like the mass firings that happened during the whole like Charlie Kirk assassination thing, which is super interesting. Because I didn't think it was this widespread, first and foremost. I know there were like right-wing, like, op accounts that were like doxing people and getting people fired. And you had all those insufferable idiots on social media being like, you're pushing for violence, you're celebrating violence, to anyone who just basically posted words Charlie Kirk said verbatim, including when he just gaslit everybody. Who the fuck is this guy? What is going on?
I need to do a hard reset.
Yeah.
It's rough out here.
What did you, I'm just sorry, I didn't get your message completely. What did you mean when you said it's stuck in the toaster? Like, is that sorted out?
That was my dick. My dick was stuck.
Your dick was stuck in the toaster. Okay.
I just wanted to feel it for a little bit. That's it.
You just wanted to feel. You're like, I just wanted to feel something. I wanted to feel anything. I've been dead for so long.
That's me.
Yeah,
we're working on.
Yeah,
it.
we're just going over tonight's show. We've got more Charlie Kirk stuff because we I just went on a rant about how we never do click slop, and that's click slop, so that's an L.
You know what happened to me? Like, okay, I just want to present this for a second.
What are you presenting? This is interesting. I didn't know we were going to have a presentation today.
Well, so I decided to turn Randy Fine into art the other day.
I saw that.
And here's the problem, right? Yeah, okay, I can Photoshop this and make him like a little fatter, but I can't make him like mega fat, more fat than this without it looking weird. It already looks weird here. So I decided to opt with AI. And I got through all of this. I Photoshopped this one.
Oh my God.
and then I got here, right? And eventually I was trying to increase the scale to like the world, like the globe. And ChatGPT told me no. They were like, no, this is offensive. We're talking about a real person. It wasn't until I made him so fat that he was literally gobbling up the entire world until ChatGPT told me it was.
What I find odd is, do you notice how he's like ethnically changing throughout the AI edits?
He turned Chinese. He turned Asian.
He's starting, yeah. He's like morphing into the chairman.
This is why I don't like
it.
AI.
Weird.
I mean, I for meme purposes, I had to. That's all.
I, for one, really am looking forward to this, like being in charge of all our like financial systems and all of our customer service and all of our coding. And yeah, it's gonna be great, guys. It's gonna be great. It's not gonna just hallucinate us into hell, which might actually be the whole fucking point, right? Might be the point. Might be the whole purpose to all of this madness.
You can't even talk to a real person now. Now imagine like in maybe like a year or two, how hard it's gonna be.
Oh no, I know. We made the change at work. So now whenever someone reaches out to like for chat assistants or whatever, they have to deal with an AI. And the AI, like, it'll be really fucking annoying and like try and sort out the issue. And 9 out of 10 times, like I see the conversations, it's just giving like misinformation and just dog shit. And it pisses the person off. And then by the time they get escalated all the way up to me, I gotta deal with a pissed off person because they've just had to deal with this AI that's just spitting like ridiculous bullshit at them. Which I
see companies like utilizing it. So like if you ever use Binance, which is like a crypto trading platform, basically you get a shot to chat with like a robot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you talk to they like make it seem like you're like escalating the issue up and talk to a real person. It's AI.
It's another robot.
It's like basically another robot. And then when you escalate it again, then you hit it. So they have 3 layers of protection just for you to talk to a fucking person.
Yeah, and it's going to get
bot, then they have an advanced bot, and now they have that there's 2 layers behind a person now.
I don't think it's like an advanced AI. I think it's the same thing as like, I don't know if you've ever been a manager before, but like like being a manager, you handle a lot of escalations, and what's fun about it is 9 out of 10 times whenever some Karen asks for an escalation, I want to talk to your boss. It's literally just the person like saying the exact same thing as the employee, and then they both high five and shit. That's what I'm always doing. I'm like, okay, well, I'm literally just going to tell them what you just told them. So this is going to be interesting. I wonder if AI is like the same way. It's just like, hi, I am manager person. And then it just regurgitates like the same AI script. But yeah. Anyway, we've got a pretty jam-packed show for y'all tonight. We've got a jam-packed show always because we are
Tomorrow's news today.
Yesterday's news next Friday. No, that completely fell flat. Okay.
Monday's
We're gonna
news,
do it.
Monday's news Sunday.
Yesterday's news last week.
Today's
that's everybody
news,
else.
Today's news next year.
But don't forget, guys. No politic here.
No, we don't do that. We don't talk about that.
No. So I guess we should start. What do you want to start with? Do you want to start with
Venezuela? I think that's the most pressing thing.
Yeah, so the most pressing thing is the United States government. They are, oh, that's so annoying. They are starting to.
It's worse than that. It's way worse than that.
And they are trying to get Venezuela to. They're trying to get Venezuela to do that. And so things are really heating up when it comes to Venezuela. The warmongering is completely out there. You've probably already seen the like mass bot farm. They got all the bot farms burning the midnight oil here. They probably stole some like India sort of workers to go do that, take a break from the Hasbara and go to do Venezuela, propaganda. But you've probably been seeing it on your feeds and social media, just nonstop accounts, very concerned about the horrible dictator. And it's always the same script, right? The crazy thing about the situation in Venezuela is they didn't even give us, and they never do this anymore because I feel like they don't have to, or they're just too arrogant. They didn't even do us the service of doing like a new propaganda angle. It's the same thing they use with Iran.
No, it's weapons of mass destruction, except like cleaner, I guess. You can just call it anything you want.
No, but it's like they're doing the drug angle, right? But the place they're completely unoriginal is they're doing the whole like, oh no, we need to free the Venezuelan people from their evil, horrible dictator, which is the same bullshit they use with Iran. They're like, well, we stand with the Iranian people in liberating them from their dictator, and it's like, okay, but
and it just so happens to be a socialized. It just so happens to be a socialized economy with a nationalized oil supply. Again, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, because let's not forget, guys. Let's not forget how many different countries Trump has blamed the drug crisis on. I find it very interesting. Out of
it's the entirety of the global South, it's Colombia now too.
It's Colombia. They blamed Canada.
He's buddy with the fucking Marco Rubio tapped like this guy from the former president of Colombia that was like literally like a fucking he got busted in it for like shipping cocaine, and there was like shell company or some shit.
Yeah, and so
literally pairing up with drug traffickers as we plan to bomb Venezuela to capture.
Yeah, and the interesting thing too is that like Trump's he's even blamed Canada for the drug thing. He's blamed China for the drug thing.
Oh yeah,
right.
That's right. China somehow ships drugs overseas to Venezuela to bring them to the U.S. That makes a lot of sense.
So of all the countries that he's blaming the drug thing on, he seems really focused on, to the point of direct military intervention, Venezuela. And it just happens, just coinkydink, just a real coinkydink here. It just so happens to be the country that has the largest oil reserves in the whole fucking world. And I think the interesting part is that if you just look online, the funny thing is, this isn't like hitting on like anybody. Like nobody's buying this. Like across the political field, like just nobody's buying it. The right isn't buying it. The left isn't buying it.
I think there's some MAGA people who are.
Do you mean MAGA people, or do you mean, by MAGA people, do you mean Indian employees? Because I think you mean Indian employees when you mean MAGA people.
No, they're from Nigeria. I told you. So the Hasbro accounts are Indians, and then the pro-MAGA Trump accounts are all Nigerians.
Okay.
That's how the game works.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, I even have like conservative like people I know in my life. It's not even working on them. They're just like, so we're just they're just doing the oil thing, right? Everybody I know is just like, yeah, it's just fucking, they're doing the oil thing. So it's super interesting the way things are escalating as of right now. Apparently the entire Venezuelan airspace is closed down. And I find it extra funny that they're going with the whole like drug trafficking angle. We're gonna free the country. It's the American meme, like, looks like they need a little bit of freedom. But I find it interesting, given what came out of Donald Trump's mouth himself here. Just super neato, super interesting stuff. Wait, hold on. I don't know if I shared that with the sound. Yeah, there we go. So this is just super interesting. This is super interesting.
When I left, Venezuela was ready to collapse. We would have taken it over. We would have gotten all that oil. It would have been right next door. But now we're buying oil from Venezuela, so we're making a dictator very rich. Can you believe this? Nobody can believe it. You know where the oil, their oil is garbage. It's horrible. The worst you can get, tar. It's like tar. And to refine it, you need special plants. And these people...
So like, we're just talking about the, like, yeah, we're doing the oil thing and that's that. We're just talking about it.
They always tell you.
We're not even... Like, we're not, the funniest thing about Trump is he's not even following like the propaganda that the State Department's like rolling out. All the MAGA people are going in like one direction, and he's out here like, yeah, no, the oil, like, we're just gonna.
No, it's they literally say it out loud. This woman is insane. Rep Maria Salazar. I don't even know if I'm saying her name correctly, but she's in Florida, where all the other fucking maniacs are. This is just some of the stuff she said over the past couple of weeks, the past couple of days.
Uranium to Hezbollah.
This is the kind of shit they're saying now. They're sending uranium to Hezbollah in Lebanon somehow. I don't know why.
That's fucking.
I don't know
awesome.
why, and I don't know how, but they're claiming this is happening. Listen to some of this shit. This is insane. I have like 3 videos.
Yeah. Maduro is not the legitimate president of the country. So we're not invading a sovereign country that has a free and fair elected democratic president. No, this guy is a thug. Yeah. And he's good friends with Hezbollah. They are giving uranium to Hamas and to Iran and to North Korea and to Cuba and to Nicaragua. Come on, it's time for the United States to do what...
Bro, they're not doing but Hamas with fucking Venezuela. Shut up.
How is the propaganda?
Shut the fuck up.
How is the propaganda this bad? Come
this
on,
is just. This is. I almost wonder if the psyop itself is like demoralization, insofar as people watch this and they're like, "Wow, they think we're that fucking stupid."
They really do. They really do.
Because who's gonna believe like, oh, we have to do warmongering in Venezuela because they're giving uranium to Hamas. To do what? What are they going to do with uranium?
I don't know. Listen to this again.
Yeah.
Maduro is not the legitimate president of the country, so we're not invading a sovereign country that has a free and fair elected democratic president. No, this guy is a thug, and he's good friends with Hezbollah. They are giving uranium to Hamas and to Iran and to North Korea and to Cuba and to Nicaragua. Come on, it's time for the United States to do what we need to do, and thank God that Trump is doing it.
Yeah.
Here's just some more shit that she said.
In touch and in
She's talking to the opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado.
Contact with Maria Corina Machado, who is the legitimate president of Venezuela, and they are ready within 100 days after they're liberated. They know what they need to do. I mean, Venezuela had a very strong democracy before these thugs took power. That was only 25 years ago. They have the largest reserves of oil in the world. They are more than willing to negotiate and to be working with the oil companies, the American oil companies. So it's not going to be difficult.
Come on.
70-80% of the Venezuelans voted against
we're not
Maduro.
being this like
Not
just
only that,
completely.
they have risen many times.
Oh,
general
man.
strikes for years. So the Venezuelans are ready to be liberated and not to be a hub for drugs coming into the United States. And I salute President Trump. I'm the chairman of the Western.
They say it out loud, guys. They say it out.
But the Saudis, I mean, we have more oil. I mean,
Don Jr.
potential.
What is happening,
and
man?
we're going to open markets. We're going to kick off the government from the oil sector. We are going to privatize all our industry. Venezuela has huge resources: oil, gas, minerals, land, technology. And as you said before, we have a strategic location, hours from the United States. So we're going to do this right. We know what we have to do. And American companies are in, super strategic position to invest. This country, Venezuela, is going to be the brightest opportunity for investment of American companies, of good people that are going to make a lot of money.
It's so brazen.
Proven oil reserves in the world. The 8th reservoir of natural gas. Huge potential in electricity, gold, critical minerals, and so on. This can only be unleashed with a society, with a government that brings order to this chaos. That open markets, that brings rule of law, that is friendly to international investment. And in a country that is producing less than 1 million barrels a day could reach 4,
She's got some
5,
Joker
or
shit
6
going
in a
with
decade.
with her mouth. I don't know what's going on with the mouth.
Terrible. I don't know how old she is.
The mouth is looking. She's literally looking like the Joker. She's up here like, why so serious about I don't know. I didn't come up with a good one there, but this is what I never understand. This is what I'll never understand about like Republicans specifically. What is the thing they do with their faces? Because they all look like they broke out of a fucking wax museum. All of them look like they broke out of a wax museum. They all look like they are going to melt under like heavy lamplight. What does that look? That I need to look like I am made of like clay and like various paint. Because this is this is like a lizard. This isn't a person.
Well, they're demonic. I don't understand how you create someone like this in a CIA lab, because they're like literally perfect, and they're just random local fucking Congress people, and they're saying it out loud. We're going in, guys. We're going in to Venezuela. We're going.
I would love to see a change in government. My wife's from Nicaragua. We know how terribly the dictators there rely on Venezuelan oil.
The dictators.
But at the same time, a lot of Americans don't want actual U.S. participation in regime change in Venezuela. They would much prefer the Venezuelans to do it on their own. Do you think the pressure that Maduro has received will force him to leave on his own?
Guys, it's the dictators.
I think Maduro is not Fidel Castro. Maduro is not a brave boy. So now that he has understood that he's on that very nefarious list of the terrorist organization, that the airspace above Venezuela has been closed off and the commercial airlines from the United States are not flying, he's understanding that we're about to go in. He understands that he has been our enemy for the last 25 years. Venezuela, for those Americans who do not understand why we need to go in, basically for three reasons. You're in Fox Business. Venezuela, for the American oil companies, will be a field day because it will be more than $1 trillion in economic activity. American companies can go in and fix all the oil pipe, the whole oil rigs, and everything that has to do with the Venezuelan petroleum companies.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's coming, guys. It's coming. One more. Just one more.
They're literally like they're just signaling like, yeah, we're gonna like, and this is what America does. For people who aren't aware, they do this with every single like socialist country. It's the same thing. It just this time they're just doing it directly. They're not funding like, you know, CIA coups or whatever. They're like, no, I think we can just go like just go balls in with this one and just directly just over like completely violate a sovereign country's will. Because at the end of the day, okay, and I don't need to tell most people this, the argument for we need to go regime change any country is that's not our call. If the people of that country want that, then they have to do something about it. Because frankly, all of us here in the fucking West, up here in Canada and in the States,
there's just no moral authority for us. Our own society is fucked completely. To think that we can go and fix someone else's is kind of arrogant and insane.
No, it's insane. What other country wants what the fuck we have? We don't even have democracy. We've got just endless sheepdogs that pretend to represent us, and then they get in office and they fart and just fucking, you know, vote on Israel garbage and billionaire garbage and fell for it again times a million. Why do we need to bust into any other country and give them anything even remotely connected to the fucking West? It's absurd. It's absurd and it's broken, and nobody should be falling for this propaganda. Also, can we just unpack the drug thing for a second? Okay, let's think about this issue with drugs, okay? There's not an application of this anywhere else across the board when it comes to substances. So everybody's talking about like fentanyl, drugs pouring into the border, right? Nobody's talking about alcoholism. Nobody's talking about big pharma and the prescription drugs nightmare that's going on over there with opioids, with painkillers. All of which are significant problems in and of themselves.
So this is it, guys.
Of people a year. And in recent weeks, you've been working to deter Venezuelan drug traffickers, of which there are many. Of course, there aren't too many coming in by sea anymore, if you probably noticed that. From sending their poisons into the United States, where they kill hundreds of thousands of people a year.
Well, dude, what's going on with
this situation? We're already doing a lot. We've almost stopped.
What's happening?
85% stopped by sea. You probably noticed that. People aren't wanting to be delivering by sea, and we'll be starting to stop them by land also. The land is easier, but that's going to start very soon.
Very soon. And this is all of MAGA right now.
Yeah, that's all of MAGA. It's all of MAGA. I gotta say though, what is going on with Trump's speech? Is he like fucking up some dentures or something?
He's dying. He's got to be dying.
Yeah.
Here's the big hypocrisy of all of this, right?
Let's see it.
So just the other day, Trump pardoned Juan Orlando Hernandez, who is basically a narco dictator, the former narco dictator. of Honduras, which are having elections soon. I'm pretty sure that's important. And they're trying to do like a soft power regime change, which is coming to stores near you. And when he's confronted with this, he's literally saying the exact same rationale that he's applying to Maduro. And this is the same man. Listen to this, and this is the same exact man who put a $10 million bounty on Maduro for selling drugs.
President Trump. I thought it said President Trump gags for a second, and I thought, oh, well, that tracks.
Let me see if there's video of this. There should be video of this now. But you can't make this up. You really can't make
this is a good point too. Opioid deaths.
This is some
opioid deaths.
Go ahead.
Opioid deaths have dropped almost 50% in the last 3 years because of harm reduction measures, which have been cut this year. More people will die. Yeah, that's kind of the point I was trying to get to before Crab rudely cut me off with a video, which I will never forgive him for, ever. So this is kind of the point I'm trying to make. We don't apply the same standards of like ownership or accountability when it comes to this specific drug issue for any other area. Because it's like if you have like alcoholism deaths or like addictions to painkillers, society doesn't start pointing fingers of like where the substances are coming from, because they're coming from capital. They're coming from big business. So it's like, okay, then it's a personal problem. But with this very specific drug-related issue, instead of tracking that to it being, there's plenty of reasons why people have issues with drugs. They can't regulate their emotions because of childhood trauma. They have underlying mental disorders, which they probably can't afford to treat, because in 2025, we still haven't figured out a fucking way to give people like affordable mental health treatment. Myriad reasons. They're self-medicating because of the stress of their material conditions. Maybe they're working 2 jobs. There's so many reasons why people develop addictions, right? A lot of it also is stuff like ADHD, where you don't produce enough dopamine, you're trying to get it elsewhere. So many different reasons for these things that, it's we really don't apply this to any other circumstance. Like are we going to, like, what's Trump going to do? Be like, oh, alcoholism has skyrocketed. We need to go after insert country here that gives us the most like alcohol, like, you know what I mean? Do you get what I'm going with this? It's just like the logic doesn't logic. It just doesn't fucking make sense. And I don't think it's ever made sense. So the fact that they think this propaganda is going to work is just weird. It's just fucking weird. But yeah, let's cut to Trump gagging with the press. Gagging on the press.
Yeah.
He's gagging on the press. This is Donald Trump. This is Donald Trump being like, I'm a pedophile. Wait, no, I was going to do yours. God damn it. Oh, I self-own myself. No. Oh, top 10. If we were more popular, we'd end up on live stream fail there. That was just
not good. Believe me, not good.
And that was actually the final indication that
America's dead.
That's it right there. Can't believe I did that. I am such a expired coupon. I am an expired coupon tonight. Oh boy. Okay. President Trump on why he pardoned former Honduran president. You can take any country you want. If somebody sells drugs in that country, that doesn't mean you arrest the president and put him in jail for the rest of his.
You can't hear it?
I can't hear shit.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, you should have told me.
Well, no, I don't know what you're doing, man. You got to be like, here's my audio.
Playing a video.
And he was a drug dealer.
There we go.
Mr. You've made so clear.
See, that sound. We can hear that. So that's good.
Explain more about why you would pardon a notorious drug trafficker.
Well, I don't know who you're talking about. Which
Juan
one?
Orlando Hernandez.
Well, I was told, I was asked by Honduras, many of the people of Honduras, they said it was a Biden setup. I don't mean Biden. Look, Biden didn't know he was alive. But it was the
They do this all the time. They're just like, yeah, it's the previous guy. He did it. Whatever. It's just I don't know. It's the previous guy. Like,
people of Honduras really thought he was set up.
It's such a fucking scam, man. This is all such a fucking scam.
And they basically said he was a drug dealer because he was the president of the country. And they said it was a Biden administration setup. And I looked at the facts and I agreed with them.
What evidence can you share that he was set up and that he wasn't?
Well, you take a look. I mean, they could say that you take any country you want. If somebody sells drugs in that country, that doesn't mean you arrest the president and put him in jail for the rest of his life.
This man literally put a fucking $10 million bounty on Maduro for the same exact reason. And there's just no, it's just so quiet. It's so quiet. And then you topple this with the you add this on with the fact that all of drug trafficking in the United States is brought in from the CIA. And there's plenty of evidence to suggest this.
Yeah.
But here, let me do John Stockwell, infamous CIA.
It really makes you wonder. It really makes you wonder, like, how deliberate this is, because, like, the timing between this getting unearthed of the pardoning and just the blatant hypocrisy of what they're doing in Venezuela, it's like almost too on the nose. It's too on the balls, as the kids say. What do you mean no kids say on the balls? Yeah, they do. Shut up. Do you like how I just argued with myself? That's a normal thing that normal people do. This is just weird. Like, it's so weird. And it makes you wonder, like, why is it weird?
When you have the top this deeply involved in the drug smuggling and providing airplanes for the drug smugglers, when you have our big bankers laundering the money and bringing it back into the system, if they were really interested in purging our society from drugs, you could do it pretty quickly if you went after the bankers so they couldn't profit from it anymore, and then you impeached Bush and jailed him and a bunch of other people at that level, and just the information that they have and started locking people up at that level, then start down and you could dry this thing up. Then God knows at some point, but they're not going to do that. That's the big bucks, that's the big money. They don't like civil liberties. Give them more control over the people. Now, you have that kind of money and tolerance of the thing at the top. The White House involved, Oliver North getting memos back and forth with Robert Owens saying these people were working or smuggling drugs, knowing about it, giving protection, Ed Meese giving protection, fending off investigations. George Bush, through Greg Rodriguez and the others, actually flying the drugs. Now, this makes an utter mockery of their claim of a war against drugs. So then you come back and look at the drug testing. Clearly, they're not interested in cleaning drugs out of the society. So why are they trying to get into the testing? And that's where you become very suspicious, because that's a tremendously effective tool for population control.
As a means of social control, that also is another reason why drugs are tolerated in the U.S. and other capitalist countries, because it is a form of social control. If people are stoned out on drugs, addicted to drugs, obsessed with drugs, they're going to not be social rebels.
Exactly. Between commercial television and lots of crack, you can take a lot of the guts out of the society without question.
And so this is the nature of U.S. drug trafficking, right? Because what happens is you have all of these big banks and restaurants that rely on money laundering in order to hide most of their profits. Big banks do this, restaurants do this, laundromats do. This comes from the top to the bottom. And they're using the black market as a means to not only control the population, but hide all of their money. And with that, once you take that out of a society, once you take that out of the U.S. economy, you know what happens? The entire thing collapses on its head. That's the reality.
And furthermore, I mean, a lot of people have said this, and I'll just parrot it real quick, but like, this is just more dying empire shit. That's all this is. When you start doing stuff like what they're doing in Venezuela, it's like Marx predicted in the book. This is just full implosion. This is like Rome shit. Okay? This is the kind of shit you do when the house of cards is free falling. And again, like if we're talking about drugs, you can make a much stronger case for countries like China if you're worried about like the importing of certain materials or whatnot, but they can't do this kind of shit with China. They can't be like, we're going to go fucking like fuck up China's airspace, because first off, it would fuck America's trade completely. They can't be like, China's airspace is like that would destroy North America in 24 hours.
No, they would literally just shut off the economy. I say this all the time.
Yeah, they would. They would be like, okay.
Aggression against China has to be calculated, and it's very, very, it's not possible really, because they can just shut down the economy like that. They will literally just shut down the U.S. economy instantly. That's all that counts.
Yeah. Like, I feel like the average person doesn't understand. Like, if China ever decided, like, fuck you, we're going to do a full embargo on you, America would be done. It would turn into Fallout. It would just be a completely collapsed state. So they got to do this bullshit with places like Venezuela, which, I mean, it's already kind of dicey. Venezuela is a BRICS country. China has already openly denounced what they're doing. The axis of resistance knows exactly what the fuck this is. All of them are talking about it. The Ayatollah made a statement, I believe today, about it as well.
It's never been more ogre. It's so Jover. It's completely Jover.
It is ogre for sure. It's so ogre that there are some tactics being discussed. I just made a 90s RPG reference that nobody's going to get. So sorry about that.
Now this is Catherine Austin Fitts, who worked for the Bush administration, telling us that if you take out the drugs, the black market from the U.S. economy, the entire thing collapses on its head. Listen to this.
When I was a little girl, I grew up at 48th and Larchwood in West Philadelphia, and the salary index was 100%. The salary index is the index that I use to describe the well-being of a neighborhood. It's the percent of people in a neighborhood who believe that a child can leave their home, go to the nearest place to buy a popsicle, and come home alone safely. It was unthinkable that a child wasn't safe at 48th and Larchwood in West Philadelphia in the 1950s. The salary index was 100%, and the Dow Jones index was probably about 500. Today, it's reversed. The Dow Jones index is very high at about 10,000, and the salary index is at very low in West Philadelphia and very low throughout the United States. And why is that? It's because one of the ways that we finance the growth of multinational corporations and big banks and the rise of the Dow Jones is by selling narcotics to our children. It's one of the most profitable businesses in America. About a year ago, I gave a speech called How the Money Works in Organized Crime to a wonderful group of people in Philadelphia. They have a conference every year. They go off into the woods for about 3 days and talk about how they can help our culture, our world, spiritually evolve. So I gave my presentation on how the money works as organized crime, describing what is arguably the biggest, most profitable industry in the United States today. And towards the end, we were discussing the fact that the Department of Justice estimates that the United States is the leader in laundering organized crime profits of about $500 billion to $1 trillion a year. So I asked the audience, what would happen if we stopped being the worldwide leader in laundering $500 billion to $1 trillion a year? And they said, well, you know, if we stopped, our mutual funds would go down in price, the stock market would crash. I said, well, what else would happen? So they said, well, you know, we might have trouble financing the government deficit because, in fact, the people who control 50 years of accumulated profits, that's a lot of capital that we need to finance our deficit. So I said, okay, well, I'll tell you what, let's pretend there's a big red button right up here in the lectern right in front of me. And if you push that button, you can stop all organized crime in America, and you can stop America laundering $500 billion to $1 trillion of organized crime profits every year. Who here will push the button? And out of 100 people, only one person would push the button. And I said, okay, so what you're saying is you want a whole armada of people to sell drugs to your children and grandchildren to keep your mutual funds up and your government checks coming. And they said, yes, that's right. Now, there are many ways to change that. There are many ways to re-engineer our financial system and our resources so that the Solari Index and the Dow Jones can be friends. So that when we get the Solari Index to go up by making sure our neighborhoods are safe for children, the real estate can go up in value, the small businesses go up in value. There are many ways to make the Solari Index and the Dow Jones friends. But before we can do that, before we can have that conversation, we have to face what's happening. We have to face that we are addicted to drug profits, because if we can't face it, God can't fix it.
Okay.
It's ogre. It's so Jover. It's more Jover than it ever has been. I actually
it has never been this Jover.
If anyone is not already familiar, you should be. This is a must watch or a read. I would recommend the read, but the documentary is actually very good too.
What if you don't know how to read?
Then you could watch the documentary. It's fine.
Okay.
There's a documentary. I'm pretty sure you can watch it for free on Vimeo. Otherwise, just fucking buy it somewhere, not Amazon, preferably. But again, this is the nature of the United States empire. They rely on drugging your children so that they can keep their profits up.
Yeah, because they hit the nail on the head in that video, right? If you have a society that is pacified and is basically like docile, they're less likely to be revolutionary. And they've done this with drugs, they've done this with religion. It's like I first said, religion is the opiate of the masses. I came up with that quote in case anybody's ripping off the bearded man again. God damn it. No, they do this because if you are self-medicating, if you are treating normal feelings you should feel from being in a disordered society that is not working, then you'll be less likely to actually get up off your fucking ass and do something about it, as opposed to people who are just processing those internal negative feelings and going, wait a minute, this society's fucked up. We got to do better. We got to do something about this. Like we're all suffering. We're all struggling. We're all getting screwed. And like nobody's doing anything about it. We got to get on the streets. We got to hand out pamphlets. We got to do a general strike. We got to shut down Capitol. You're not going to be doing any of that if instead you are medicating and treating so there's two roads when it comes to treatment modality with negative feelings. The first road is you just do whatever you can to make the feelings go away. The second road is you do whatever you can to ensure the feelings do not arise in the future. And if every single time you're stressed about work, you're stressed about finances, you can just reach for a bottle or reach for drugs or, same Bloom or Descent. I don't remember which one you prefer to be called, but I'm going to alternate. because I'm annoying like that. Anyway. Also, thanks to everybody who watched me definitely not eat shit for 45 minutes yesterday. I definitely didn't eat shit and get very angry at video games. So thank you for watching that, Corge.
I didn't even see that.
Oh my fucking god. I got my ass waxed by this boss in another Crab's Treasure for like half an hour.
Crab's Treasure?
Yeah, it's called Another Crab's Treasure.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Am I
yeah,
there?
It was bad. Also, Restream is dog shit for gaming. Do not ever do that. I'm using OBS from now on. I'm never using Restream again. That was absolute garbage.
You shouldn't. That's so it's so dumb.
Yeah,
It's
it
really
sucks. Anyway, so that's kind of where we're at with this whole situation with Venezuela. But it does get it yeah. I got beat up by an underwater kidney.
I'm just saying this now. It's crazy.
But the
Some
thing
pretty
is,
crazy stuff.
But the thing is, okay, like Maduro himself fucking calls this shit out. Check this out. Check this out.
El 85% de los miles de millones del narcotráfico internacional anual están en los bancos de Estados Unidos. Ahí está el cartel, que lo investiguen y lo descubran. El lavado de dinero. Mira, yo estaba viendo los datos que dio la vicepresidenta y creo que son más de 500.000 millones de dólares anuales que están en la banca de Estados Unidos, en los bancos legales. Si ellos quisieran investigar un cartel, que investiguen el cartel en el norte, porque allá es que desde Estados Unidos que se dirige todo el narcotráfico de Sudamérica y del mundo, porque también dirigen el narcotráfico del opio, etcétera, etcétera. Es en los Estados Unidos que están las mafias, que están los verdaderos carteles.
Yeah, and like
El 85.
I don't think there's a better picture to describe imperialism than this right here. Just like fucking, like that's it. And this whole thing, I mean, first and foremost, like anybody with a functional brain knows that this is like it's all fake. All the reasoning is fake. It's the same as it always has been. The US just doesn't like that there is a socialized country with a lot of oil. And I think what's interesting to me, at least, what is very interesting to me is that they seem far less invested in like actually doing propaganda that even works. Which is concerning because
they know it doesn't matter. You don't have to be coherent.
Yeah, that's what I was going with. They know, like, they just need to give a reason, and even if everybody, so like, you know how reactionaries would talk about the Soviet Union and describe it as like, oh, everybody knew what was coming from the government was propaganda. I feel like we're there, but like actually, in the West right now, because I feel like everybody kind of knows like it's bullshit. I feel like everybody kind of knows that this Venezuela thing is just about the oil, and that's all it is about. And people who want to, you know, firmly attach their tongue to the boot, they have to just kind of roll with it. But I feel like everybody kind of knows, like, yeah, we're just doing like an imperialism because we want the fucking oil. And we're just going to say, we're going to liberate. We need to liberate the people. We care about, they use this bullshit every time where they're like, we care about the people of that country. Bro, you're the fucking United States of America. How are you going to say anything moral or just with a straight face? You are the great Satan, and everybody fucking knows it. You don't care about the people in Venezuela, just like you don't care about the people of Iran, just like you don't care about all the other people in all the other countries that the CIA has done countless coups and overthrown their socialist governments just to install another Western puppet.exe. Okay? You don't care about these people. You just want the land or you want the resources, and that's all that's ever been about, because imperialism is, at the end of the day, as we've covered here, the highest form of capitalism, and that is all that is ever going on in the United States of America.
Tough shit. Rough shit. You want me to get to Australia digital? You know?
Yeah, let's cover what Australia is doing.
I can be pretty quick with this. So this was passed by the Parliament earlier this year, but it is taking effect on December 27th. So in less than a month, what's going to happen is that you will now have to have age verification and install your ID just to do a Google search. On any search engine, to Bing, Google, now you need to upload your ID. That's beginning in December. Australians will be required to verify their age to use search engines like Google and Bing, which is not a result of industry code. It's not due to rule changes. It's expected to take effect on December 27th. And according to the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, both Google and Microsoft would be required to comply with this or face a $50 million per breach lawsuit, which they're not going to risk. These companies are about capital. They don't give a shit about, obviously they don't give a shit about these like totalitarian digital technocracy. Because they're all pushing the same thing anyway. So they're not going to take this $50 million. Let's be honest. They're not going to take this $50 million hit for your privacy. That's ridiculous.
I'm not sure how I feel about the government, like knowing my search history. I feel like I'd get a knock at the door. They'd be like, "Are you okay, dog?
Yeah,
let's go. Do you need?" Wait, you're not arresting me? No, I'm a licensed therapist. We got to figure this out.
This is supposedly to protect children from harmful content. Now, this is the shit that they accuse China of doing. China doesn't have a law like this.
No, but according to like conservatives, they do have a law. Have you thought about that, Crab? According to every other Indian account, China has well, they have their social credit score, right? That's definitely real and totally. This is the correct take always.
So you're going to have to be required to provide a photo ID or face scanning age estimation tools like a digital biometric scan or like a digital ID. The vouching of your parents, or using AI to guess a user's age, relying on a third party that already checked the user's age, and like if you can't just accidentally find something you're not supposed to see. Every search is going to be traceable at this point, and everything's going to be identity verified data. That everything you search, at least in Australia. I'm sure it's already the case here, where every single search that you make is going to be identity linked and traced back to you. And this
in America, you got Palantir, like it's already fucking over. It's already over.
But like but this is like the first step into, Australia is a big government, and this is a first step into installing technocracy that they've been building over the last couple of years, and this is under the guise of protecting children. You see how
it's always under the guise. It's always under the guise of we're the government. This is for your safety. This is for your well-being. It's always the same thing. We're doing this because we care about you, and then it's some 1984 Brave New World fucking madness.
Oh, I gotta.
But it's always the same thing.
I gotta.
We care about you. We care about you. We care about you, and that's why we need to know if you've ever Googled how to build a Molotov cocktail.
Hi, we're the government, and we're here for your safety.
Hi, we're the government, and we're here to help.
And so this is the blueprint for a universal, worldwide, global digital ID that once it's become required here, it's going to steamroll into all the other major governments. Watch it happen, because they tried this during COVID, and we're just going to keep sliding into the next step forward.
Can you imagine be like, hey, I'm here from the government, and I just wanted to know, yesterday you did a Google search with the words anime and tentacles. I just want to know, like, what was that about? What was going on there?
But in the in the political world, we call this use, or like, the truther community, we call this usage creep, right? Because once the exists and it's already there, it only expands. It only gets bigger from there.
And also, as we've covered here on Tomorrow's News Today, Australia, the UK, and also Canada are frequently used as beta tests for the things they want to enact in the USA. Just go look back across history. These are the Commonwealth nations are usually the ones they try this bullshit out on first, and then they roll it forward in the States. A lot of stuff up here in Canada too. We're fucking with digital currency. We're fucking with digital ID stuff up here too. A lot of the moves they're making when it comes towards housing is creeping towards the you'll own nothing and be happy sort of agenda. So if you want to look at what's coming, Americans, go look at the shit that's happening over there in Australia or in Canada, or
it's happening
UK.
Here.
The UK just popped off with digital ID too, right?
Yeah, no, UK requires age checks now. But it's specifically for porn sites, but like still, this is again building the infrastructure, letting it expand. Australia is just doing straight up Google searches. You can't see anything unless you're a certain age, and you upload all of your identification, all of your information.
Something to think about. Just a slight caveat. I won't let my ADHD ruin the whole thing. Don't worry. A slight caveat for people to think about. Okay. If they're gonna place blockers in front of like stuff like Google searches, what direction are they pushing you in if you need to find some information really quickly? AI.
Yeah, stupidity, probably.
No, AI.
That too.
They're going to like narrow the lane until, and we've covered this here. They want to narrow the lane to the point where you rely on these AI systems for all the information. And that's what I think is a part of it too.
We already know they're trying to shape reality out algorithmically. Like this, Google searches already come up with AI at the top, and then the top searches are all paid for advertisements, right? Or they're pushing the things to the top that they want you to see. This is the step next to that, right? Because then you can narrow the scope.
The AI summary is essentially just the new version of like an article headline, because you search something and then it gives you the AI summary at the top, and I guarantee you a lot of people probably just look at that and they're like, okay, well that's done, and then they internalize that and move on. And the thing is, the next time you guys Google search something and get that AI summary, challenge it, fact check it, go look it up, because I've done it multiple times and it's been complete misinformation. So that's just another thing to look out for.
It's already here. It's a lot of people aren't grasping this. The era of anonymous internet use is over. It's completely over. The infrastructure is already in place and it's not going away.
No.
And so this is under the safeguard of the ban children under the age of 16 from social media. And this is like a layered safety approach. This is what's happening.
Place to stop. Starting December 27, Australians will now need to upload their ID every time they're logged in to do an internet search.
I don't know if this is every time or you just upload it once and then you can like search whatever you want. But that's ridiculous. If you have to do it, can you imagine every time you Google, you have to do an ID check? That's what it. That's I don't think it sound like. I don't think that's what it's going to be, but like that's what they're making it sound like.
No, I don't think it's
this extra step.
I don't think it's every time. I think the point is you need an identity attached to your, like, we all know the end goal. They want an identity attached to all internet activity. And as we've covered here, they're trying to eliminate anonymity writ large across the internet right now. Because the end goal is this.
I'm sorry, Mr. Government. I didn't mean to look at the prawn. I was just trying to find a homemade cookie recipe for my trad husband in our Christian homestead.
That's basically what America's going to be.
What's happening.
2030, that's going to be America. It's going to be like...
What's happening now? It's happening now.
You were looking up fem. What is this? You were looking up femboys. How dare you?
Any furry porn? You were trying to look at trans furries.
What's this trans furry? You're part of the Antifa.
You were trying to look at grandma taking a big black dick. Not for you.
Yo,
we need to know your
brother.
We need to know your identity.
Starting December 27, Australians will now need to upload their ID every time they're logged in to do an internet search. Google, Bing, it sounds scary, right? And you might not even know it was introduced. It's all part of a new age verification code, and it's been put in place to stop kids engaging with adult content. But it actually affects all of us, teenagers, retirees. Every time you want to do a Google search and you're logged in, you'll either have to provide your ID, it'll link to your digital ID, or you'll use something like facial recognition. It's going to affect us all, and it's a really big change.
Great stuff. Good things are happening in this country or in this world.
Yeah. Oh no.
Really good.
Do you see what you did here, Crab?
I'm sorry. I was trying to get an example. That was like what came to my. I don't know why that came to my head.
It's over. It's over now. I was
trying to think.
Someone's gonna clip that.
Ridiculous.
Someone's gonna clip that.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, actually, could I clip that and manipulate it? And I have an idea.
What are you gonna AI me?
No, nothing. It'll be fun. Okay. Anyway, stay tuned, Prolepilled. But this is the end goal.
You know, is that the community now? Like they're Prolepilled? I like that.
Or just peepees?
The peepees.
What about just peepees?
The little peepees, yeah.
Our little peepees. Yeah, let's just do peepees.
Does that make I like little peepees. Does that make us the big peepees?
Well, I'm the big peepee. You can be the medium.
I'm okay with being an average size peepee. I'm okay with that.
An average peepee? Okay.
It's about girth anyway.
Okay, I was still referring to just, the community.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
But yeah, the end goal of all of this is they want to be, and there's multiple reasons for this. The first thing is they want data. That is invaluable. They want data on what people are. Fuck. God damn it. PPs that grandma doesn't like.
Maybe not your grandma.
Okay. What does that mean? Do you know the proclivities of your? No, we're okay.
Half the shit I say on here, I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Guys.
This entire show, you got to know, this entire show is me just fucking spitballing.
Guys,
off the top of my head.
It's time to stop.
Really?
It's time to stop, okay? No more.
Okay.
Where the fuck are your parents?
Where the fuck are your parents? Who are your parents?
Protective services. It's time to stop.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's time to stop.
Sorry.
And anyway, the whole point of this is, first and foremost, they want your data. They want your data because they can basically They can basically aggregate all this data and they can just predict, like, think about if they have all of the data on all of your internet activity, think about how they can manipulate the populace. Think about how they can manipulate the entire populace that way. If they just completely start understanding everyone's internet activity, no anonymity, they've got your age, they've got all of your biological inputs. They've got your DNA now because you did the fucking DNA thing, right? Wait, what? Nick, come on. You didn't ask your grandma that. Stop it.
Why would
you never asked your grandma that? Come on. Nobody asked their grandmother that. Can you, like, what would prompt you to be like, hey, grandma? No, I'm sorry.
Bruh.
No, we're not doing this. So they want your data. That's the first big thing, because the way they can figure out how to manipulate society from your data is what fuck, man. That's crazy. That's actually crazy.
How does that come up, Nick? Really? You just
did your grand asked her out of nowhere? Can you imagine if you just went over? Can you imagine if you went over to your grandmother's house and it just like, how's school, dearie? Oh, it's good.
I never said that. I never said that. I was giving an example. I never did that. Both my grandmas are dead anyway.
They could still like. No, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna
stop.
Stop
Just stop it. No.
The problem is you and I both enable each other because we both yes and. So if you go on some bullshit, I'll like yes and your bullshit, and it turns into some brain rot that is probably giving our audience a stroke. So anyway, the point, third time trying to wrap this up. The first thing they need is the data. That's how they manipulate society. The second thing they need is they need all of these inputs. They need all of these inputs because that's how they can also like, you know, the big scary social credit score thing they were always talking about with China? That was projection, because they want that for the West. They want that for every country in the West. They want something, and they can finally fucking do it with AI. They want a system where they can police everything you do on the internet, everything you say to your spouse. We know the phones can listen now. They want a complete control over all of your discourse, all of your internet activity. And from there, they can actually police like your dissent. Because we've seen it. We've seen it over the last 2 fucking years, specifically. And that's actually a perfect segue to the last segment, unless you had anything else on the Australia Digital ID.
On that, we could roll over. No.
That's a perfect segue to our last topic tonight, because as we all know, and we covered here, famed podcaster / water sprinkler, but the red variety, Charlie Kirk.
Jesus Christ.
famed fountain that you pour too much ketchup into. Famed death enjoyer, Charlie Kirk. After his assassination, and this actually surprised me, and I'll tell you why. I did see like your obvious op accounts, like Libs of TikTok, all those people, random MAGA accounts that are like, I've been calling employers all day. I did see your odd like trying to get people canceled who they weren't even like celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. The whole like you're celebrating death stuff. First off, it was Libby as fuck. But second of all, it wasn't even true. People were literally just posting shit he said, like atrocious shit he said. Like I remember one post. This is an example. I saw a bunch of MAGA idiots crashing out over this one post. And they weren't even saying like, I'm glad he's dead. He deserved it, whatever. All they were doing is like tribute to Charlie Kirk. And it's a video of him literally saying to the camera that Israel was not starving people in Gaza. Like just straight up, just genocide denial. Like Holocaust denial. And they're crashing out over that. So a lot of it isn't celebrating death. They were just being like, this guy was a piece of shit. And because all of these people could not handle that, you know, the majority of the population thought he sucked, and they were not feeling the same like emotional issues that they were over watching one of their heroes for one reason or another get turned into a Gushers commercial.
Yeah.
Get turned into a Skyrim waterfall glitch, if you will. Get Wind Fury critted for 3,000 damage by an enhancement spec shaman after he war stomps and then quick heals and does nature swift. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Anyway, I didn't know it was this widespread. That's the big thing that fucked me. The big thing that fucked me is I didn't know the whole like cancel train was as widespread as it actually was, because it actually is. It actually became like super like weird. And I think there's something greater to all of this, because like you got to think the, you know, like what's the end goal here? And the end goal for this is, again, as they're also, you know, trying to see everything you do on the internet, trying to do digital ID, trying to do all these things. At the same time, they're also trying to manufacture societal consent for there being real-time material harms for you not having the right opinions, for you not saying the correct things. This is an article, and again, I think the reason why the corporate press, like media outlets, are covering this is I think they're trying to normalize it. Because again, as we've covered here, all these factions, they work together. They're hurting everybody in the same direction. But it just kind of like from a pro wrestling angle. So this was Reuters. November, this is from the 19th of November. The Charlie Kirk purge. How 600 Americans were punished in a pro-Trump crackdown. 2 months after Charlie Kirk's assassination, a government-backed campaign has led to firings, suspensions, investigations, and other action against more than 600 people. Republican officials have endorsed the punishments, saying that those who glorify violence should be removed from positions of trust. And you see all of it. Obviously, Libs of TikTok is always there. She's just fucking always there.
This is the correct take.
Yeah, that's I mean,
it was a mass ritual event. If you can't see that from the aftermath,
it was a mass masturbatory situation. It was a masturbatory situation.
No, it's almost like a celebration. It's like a turning point. It literally is a turning point in our state of politics in the United States. Because now that's ammo for the right forever.
And the point was to...
Yes, we're going to surveil everybody. Everyone will be on their best behavior. Yeah.
That's what it was.
We covered the sketchiness of fucking Erica Kirk. She's got some weird connections, probably a drug trafficker, strange things.
Yeah, and so you see all this stuff. We need a massive purge of these evil psychos who want to kill all of us for simply having opposing political views. Almost every person that we posted about M-Dash, though they did this with AI, who celebrated Charlie Kirk's assassination has been fired. You're all incredibly powerful. Keep going. So again, like we're seeing, we saw this coordinated effort across the board. And again, a lot of it they weren't celebrating his assassination. They were saying Charlie Kirk was a fucking piece of shit. He made excuses for the genocide of 2 million people. Fuck him. That's what they said. Or they posted his own words when he talked about how he looked down on shit like empathy and regarded stuff like empathy as a weakness. That was the majority of the content, at least I saw. Did people celebrate it? Yeah, but people are going to celebrate. You're going to get a group of people celebrating.
We're going to celebrate when McDonald's brings back the Szechuan sauce. Like they celebrate over the internet. It's a crazy place.
I mean, what? You mean to tell me that the world isn't going... You mean to tell me the world isn't going to celebrate all in complete harmony when a certain prime minister in the Middle East kicks it? Because I'm throwing a fucking party on that day, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell yeah. And you'll have a lot of people moralizing about that too. But it's like, okay, you need to focus on like the social murder and the harm that these people caused with their actual behavior. And so when Lauren Vaughn, a kindergarten assistant in South Carolina, saw reports that right-wing influencer Charlie Kirk had been turned into a knocked over water cooler that was filled with red food dye at an event in Utah. When right-wing influencer Charlie Kirk had been turned into a renegade paintball gun, but they ran out of every color but red, she opened Facebook and typed out a quote from Kirk himself. Gun deaths, Kirk said in 2023, were unfortunate but worth it if they preserved the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. Following the quote, Vaughn added thoughts and prayers. Now, again, I would just like to remind the class that this whole like I'm tired of the right owning this whole like we should own gun shit. Okay? And to anybody who isn't aware, just type 3 words into Google, under no pretext, and just enjoy. So it's not just a right-wing thing. It has been a historically left-wing thing to ensure that you have an armed population. The only difference is the workers are armed and the guns are to be used against people in power who are committing social murder, not marginalized groups of people. That's what the right doesn't get. Vaughn, a 37-year-old Christian who has taken missionary trips to Guatemala, said her call for prayer was sincere. She said she hoped reading Kirk's words in the context of the shooting might prompt her friends to rethink their opposition to gun control. Maybe now they'll listen, she recalled thinking. Again, if you give the state dissent, I just got to say you're in the right place then. You're right where you need to be. And this is a tweet right here. A few days later, Vaughn lost her job. She was one of more than 600 Americans fired, suspended, placed under investigation, or disciplined by employers for comments about Kirk's September 10th transformation into a piñata, but the piñata is just filled with cranberry juice. So when you hit the piñata, just cranberry juice pours out. According to a Reuters review of court records, public statements. I'm never going to fucking stop. I'm just going to get worse. 24 people who are fired.
Always be worse. We should always be worse.
Yes, I will. Some were dismissed after celebrating or mocking Kirk's death. At least 15 people were punished for allegedly invoking karma or divine justice, and at least 9 others were disciplined for variations on good riddance. So that's not saying it's a good thing he died. I'm glad he died. They're just saying, and this is the overwhelming majority of content I saw, they're just saying like, I'm not sad he died. The right was essentially like, why aren't you mourning Charlie Kirk with us? That was the emotional reaction from the right. Because they were all watching their favorite little Goebbels, get Fus Rodad, as we say. See him get, take a pyroblast crit to the neck. And he'd have to click to release spirit, and that was the end of Alterac Valley. Other offending posts appeared to exult in the killing or express hope that other Republican figures would be next. One down, plenty to go, one said. So this is Laura Vaughn. Others like Vaughn say they simply criticize Kirk's politics. In the pro-Kirk camp, at least one academic was put on administrative leave after threatening to hunt down those celebrating the assassination. Which is just, I'm sorry. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm fucking sorry.
Sorry.
If you're threatening to hunt people down because a person you never met in your life before got clipped, got turned into the horizontal version of a slip and slide,
Jesus Christ.
Then you need therapy, because that level of parasocial behavior is very concerning. It doesn't matter if it's on left or the right. Like, you should not be this emotionally invested in people who just make money saying words on the internet. And I say that, as a person who makes money saying words on the internet. Do we make a lot of money? No, but we have made money.
It's like $6.
No, it's up to $15. Come on.
Okay.
We made $15. Okay, we are balling.
That's a lot of money for bullshitting on the internet.
No, we are both. Well, all of our haters are.
Reminder that we are monetized. So if you do feel like, giving us a little bit of dough, we can.
If you can't give us some financial support, okay, please give us a credit, and we will give you back money.
And that's true. That's true. If you give us credit, we're going to pay you back.
What are you talking about now?
Just super chat us your credit card, and then we're going to pay you back.
No, please don't set us your credit
card.
He's joking.
Everything that goes into the show goes into improving it. We're keeping the lights on, barely, but this is costing us.
It's time to stop. It's time to stop. Okay.
I'm just shilling out the super chats, right?
Where the fuck are your parents?
Money,
Okay. This account.
You gotta do that. Don't even bother. Donate to like a Palestinian fund first. If you have money.
Yeah, first and foremost,
donate to mutual aid first. Don't give us money. Actually,
first and foremost, donate. Yeah, donate to Gaza first and foremost. We both have jobs. Okay, we're okay. There's a lot of people out there who are not okay. This account is the most comprehensive to date of the backlash against Kirk's critics, tracing how senior officials in President Donald Trump's administration, local Republican lawmakers, and allied influencers mobilized to enforce the Trump movement's views. The story maps the pro-Trump machinery of retaliation now reshaping American political life, detailing its scale and tactics, ranging from shaming on social media to public pressure on employers and threats to defund institutions. Earlier reports by Reuters have documented how Trump has purged the federal government of employees deemed opponents of his agenda and cracked down on law firms defending people in the administration's crosshairs. Now, to be clear, this did not fucking start with Trump, okay? We all remember plenty of people getting fired in the past for protesting against the genocide. Basically calling out anything that is politically inconvenient. This has been happening for a while. In fact, I remember it happening during 9/11. That's how old I fucking am, despite how great I look. That's a joke. But like, this has been going on for a hot minute, but the fact that they're just out and about it, just saying like, hey, so this is happening. Americans sometimes lose their jobs after speaking out in heated political moments. 22 academics were dismissed in 2020, the year George Floyd was murdered by a Minneapolis police officer, most for comments deemed insensitive, according to the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, a free speech advocacy group. Here we go. 2024, the first full year following the outbreak of the latest Israel-Gaza. The genocide in Gaza. Okay, fuck this. I'm not even entertaining that.
You're just reading State Department propaganda right now.
You just called it genocide. More than 160 people were fired in connection with the pro-Palestinian advocacy, according to Palestine Legal, an organization that protects the civil rights of American supporters of the Palestinian cause. So what they're doing here, what is going down, is they are normalizing. They are normalizing this behavior. And by covering it on such a widespread media organization, they're basically signaling, hey, this is happening now. This is just a thing. You should expect this. So it goes on here to kind of just explain more, pretty much just more of the situation. Here's a second one. Julie Streeb, a sheriff's deputy in Salem, Missouri, lost her job after posting comments on Facebook about the shooting, including empathy is not owed to oppressors, which is like, that's like, I'm sorry, like you have to have some kind of emotional reaction to someone you think was a piece of shit losing their life. Is that where we're at?
Pretty basic.
You have to be like, it's a loss. She later said she viewed Kirk as an oppressor because, in her words, he sought to marginalize vulnerable groups and use his platform to rally conservative white Christians behind racist, sexist, hateful views. True. That is 100% correct. She said her bosses were besieged for calls, with calls for her dismissal, and that at one point a hand-drawn sign appeared across her home from her home reading, Julie Streeb supports the assassination of Charles Kirk. And there it is right there. So this is like a massive cancel train. This reminded me of, you know what it reminded me of? Do you remember like the obviously fake, like total psyop of Donald Trump's attempted assassination?
Yeah.
And a bunch of people were like, oh, shame he missed, or whatever. They were just like, oh man, you could have got him. And then libs of TikTok and all the other like Mossad State Department accounts were like running cancel trains. Libs of TikTok herself, she got like an old lady fired from Home Depot. It's the same shit. So what they're normalizing, and the corporate press is doing this in tandem with the right-wing apparatus, they are normalizing the idea that before you speak out about something, before you call it a genocide, or before you call out rampant imperialism, before you speak out about something you're passionate about, you need to check. You need to ask yourself first, am I going to lose my job over this? Am I going to lose my home over this? Is my bank account going to get frozen over this? It's you basically feel like material anxiety over just speaking your mind on a thing. And 9 out of 10 times, what you're speaking your mind over is something that anybody with like a working heart is going to think is wrong. And this is a perfect example. Streeb said she installed 5 surveillance cameras at her home and now fuels her car only at night to avoid neighbors. Moving from Salem would mean leaving extended family, but she said the small city has grown too hostile to stay. I just don't feel like I could ever let my guard down, she said in an interview. Streeb's former employer, the Dent County Sheriff's Office, declined to comment because, of course, they're not going to comment. Many Republican officials have embraced the punitive campaign. Well, fucking of course they have. Of course they have. Some have proposed extraordinary measures, including lifetime bans from social media for those deemed to be reveling in Kirk's
That's
staff.
crazy.
So this is how it starts, right? And this is what Dissent was talking about. The U.S. State Department revoked visas for 6 foreigners who the agency said celebrated the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk. Speaking on a special episode of Kirk's podcast on September 15th, the vice president urged his listeners to inflict consequences on those celebrating Kirk's death. Call them out and hell call their employer, Vance said. The vice president said, go fucking contact employers who are engaging in wrongthink. That's where we're at. And this is what they're doing. They want to normalize this bullshit. They want to make it completely normal for you to have material anxiety over speaking your mind if it is not 100% in allegiance to the state, to the regime. This is example number 500,000 of everything they accuse communist countries of being just happening under capitalism. Because that's what this is. All of that, oh, well, you would be sent to the gulag for wrongthink. What the fuck do you think this is? You're literally not... They want you to lose your ability to put food on the table for your family if you don't like... And it's not even like, I want to kill someone. It's not even that level of rhetoric. It's literally just saying like, yeah, I don't feel bad for this guy. He sucked. Even that is like... Even that is cancelable, apparently. So that's where we're at. That's the level of cooked we are at. They are trying to normalize this across the board. They've been trying to normalize it for a while, but they are ramping this up. And I don't think it's by accident that at the same time, they're trying to implement digital ID. They're trying to track everything you say on the internet. They are trying to remove anonymity on the internet, as we've covered here.
No, all those things come together. All those things are correlated.
They're all...
Nothing is a coincidence. Nothing is a coincidence.
There's only 2 ways to operate in this world. Nothing's a coincidence. Everything's a coincidence. And also asking your grandmother who her best was, I guess.
I can't believe that's a real question that was asked to an old lady.
I'm still calling Cap.
I genuinely feel bad for Nick's mom.
Nick, I love you, but I'm calling Cap. I'm calling Cap.
Yeah, can you at least tell us the answer? What did she say? If it wasn't your grandpa, then who was it?
He's going to be like, she said it was JD Vance.
Nick, you must answer now.
It was JD Vance's couch.
What did your grandma say in response to that?
She said it was Erica Kirk. She said her best time was with Charlie Kirk's neck wound, his open neck wound. That was the...
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, we're normal. We're normal here. Welcome to Prolepilled. We're normal. We are very normal. No, don't do the actual name or anything. We're just fucking around. I think we're just curious because we don't know what a grandmother would say to her grandson asking a sexual question of that nature. I don't know what a grandmother would say in response to that other than you're weird or please stop talking. So, but I digress. That's pretty much where we're at. And you can expect this to continue. I'm just going to call it right here because we are tomorrow's news today. When they finally pop off completely with Venezuela, I mean, there's probably going to be people running cancel trains on anyone saying like, this is wrong. We shouldn't be doing this.
Don't you want to stop drugs from flowing into the country?
Drugs have killed so many people. How dare you? How dare you? I'm calling your employer and you can expect this.
My cousin died of a fentanyl overdose. It's Maduro's fault.
And what they want to do, They want to normalize this process because eventually their end goal, this is their wet dream. They just want your employer to be able to pull up like a rap sheet on you on everything you've said on the internet. And this is going to be the new factor when you're trying to get employment or trying to rent a home. They're buying up all the homes, by the way, too. That's the other thing.
Yeah, that's over. That's done. You don't.
Yeah.
You're not going to buy a house anytime soon.
Yeah. It's going to get to the point where you're just like.
You could probably rent out something in Scandinavia or something like that, but in the United States, it's over. Half the homes are turned into BlackRock super centers.
Yep. And so their end goal is to have some kind of rap sheet on you where unless you're perfectly compliant, you're automatically going to be an outlier. And all the other good behaved little good boys and girls are going to get the jobs and they're going to get the homes and they're going to get all the goodies. And eventually when they finally transition over to full-blown technocratic neo-feudalism, essentially they're just going to judge you based on your compliance writ large across the board for all goods and services. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be, oh, are you saying things that are anti-American or anti-Canadian or anti-British or whatever, basically against the regime? You will get punished. And that's what all of this is pointing towards. Pretty much all the content we covered tonight, it's all going in the same direction. They want us at a point where they have us by the balls and they're squeezing so hard. They're squeezing our balls so hard that we will have no choice but to completely go along and self-censor to the point where there's going to be no more speaking out against genocides. There's going to be no more critiquing capitalism. There's going to be no more openly criticizing the figurehead that's moving along the machines of capital. There's going to be no more of that because they know that that there is going to be a very real material harm that is going to happen to you if you are openly critical about these things or sharing the truth about any of these things. That is the end goal. That's why we're here at Prolepilled. We're trying to wake people up to this and to help them finally gain class consciousness so we can finally fucking do something about this. Because time's running out, guys. We don't have forever. There's going to come a day where you're just going to log into all your shit and it's going to ask for like your ID. And then it's going to give you little demerit points because you said like a mean thing about Israel.
Oops.
That's going to sneak up on you one day. If we don't wake everybody up, we're just going to sleepwalk into this. One day you're going to have a meeting with your HR department because they're like, so you said on Twitter on this like sock account that we trace back to your identity because you had to verify your ID. You said that Hamas did nothing wrong. So can you like clarify that, please? And then it's going to become like it's going to be an extension to the point where you just start getting corrected for everything you say across the board. So we can't let that happen because the second that happens, it's over. It's over for humanity. You're going to have a whole population that's just going to be a bunch of robots, essentially. Just going to be a bunch of people who it doesn't matter what they think in their head. They're just not going to be able to take anything in their head and put it out into the world. That's what they want. They want you completely censoring every part of you that is still alive and still has empathy. So yeah, that's that was the great Charlie Kirk purge, and you can expect to come across a lot more of these purges whenever there is an event where people are saying things that they shouldn't be saying. And the only way to fight back against this is to call it out and say, listen, because here at Prolepilled, we are free speech absolutists. And my take has always been the same. You're not going to defeat bad ideas by like cutting them off. You're not going to defeat bad ideas by telling people they can't speak the bad ideas. And I firmly believe that with my whole heart, because there's a lot of people in my life that I've radicalized and I've kind of deprogrammed. And if I didn't have the ability to engage in that discussion, that conversation, they would still have those stupid beliefs. And so that's why free speech is such an important thing. Because at the end of the day, people with bad ideas, unless you present them with better ideas, they're never going to change those bad ideas. And if they're not allowed to take those bad ideas and present them somewhere observable, then they're just going to hold those bad ideas in their brain. If you tell people, like, you can't say these shitty things on the internet, they're just going to say them in real life, or they're going to find like a private forum, or they're going to go to 4chan or wherever, and they're just going to find other people with those bad ideas, and they're going to create echo chambers. They're going to create bubbles. But if you let them say those bad ideas out in the public forum, and people counter those bad ideas with better ideas, correct them on their misinformation, correct them on their propaganda, then you'll change minds. But that is exactly what the establishment doesn't want you to do. They don't want those bad ideas corrected. They want you thinking exactly what they want you to fucking think. They don't care if you even believe the propaganda. They just want you regurgitating it. They just want you not countering it. That's the whole point of all this. So.
All right, let's close it out.
Yeah, let's close it up. Let's get the fuck out of here. I am sick of all. Yep, me too.
Okay.
Me too. And it's probably going to be a shit day because our company is just shitting and farting and pissing and coming. Like, I have no words for the level of shitting and farting and pissing and also coming.
I hope the rest of you can survive this capitalist hellscape that's happening right now. It's good stuff, really.
Yep.
Appreciate it, guys. Fuck capitalism. Fuck Israel.
Keep questioning everything. Thank you as always for all your support. It means the world. It seems like we're starting to create like a pretty vibrant community here in Prolepilled. So thank you, my little peepees. Our little peepees, as we call them. Little peepees. Thank you so much, my little peepees. Anyway, have a great night, everybody. We will be back Wednesday, which is our game day. And then I'll probably figure out I got to fuck around with OBS a little bit to make it make the gaming situation better. But I'll be playing some more another Crab's Treasure.
It's my treasure.
Sometime this week. I just got to figure out the OBS crap. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for everything. Have a good night. Mwah.